In this video, I have the 8 best price patterns for you that allow you to find great opportunities and, even more importantly, help you understand market psychology and price psychology. So we're starting here, number 8, it's the breakout buildup. This is also often coming in the form of a cup and handle. What you want to see is that the market is in an uptrend. So here we can see we go from the bottom left to the top right. The market put in here a first resistance. We had a strong sell-off. And it's a failed breakout. The market tried breaking into a new low. The breakout was rejected. The market returned back to the highs, pushed lower, made a higher low. And here it's really clinging to the level. This is the most important part, where the market is really sticking to the level and is not selling off, not like what we have seen before. And this is a great sign that there's a lot of pressure building underneath the resistance. All we have to do is wait for the breakout, for the stop. Typically, you want to put this a little bit wider because there can still be some volatility. So ideally underneath the breakout area. And then if you're going for a trend following trade, just like we're doing here, we're going with the long-term bullish trend, we can really nicely extend our target. You could also try to use a trailing stop loss approach and really hope to catch a long trend that is just emerging. No matter which trading book you read or which trading podcast you listen to, a trading journal will always be mentioned as the most important trading tool a trader needs to have. That's why we developed the Edgewong Trading Journal. And currently we run a promotion. So for Tradeciety followers and fans, go to edgewong.com, and when you buy your Edgewong Trading Journal, use the discount code Tradeciety to get the biggest possible discount. Next, let's take a look at the dirty retest at number 7. We're coming here from a very, very strong uptrend. If I move this out, you can see it even better. Very strong uptrend, and then the market put in here this distribution. It's not uncommon to see the market go sideways after a long and strong trending move. But if you can see that this is going on for a very, very long time, we're on the 1-hour chart, and this is going on for pretty much a trading week. This is not just a regular consolidation anymore. This is a distribution pattern. We are seeing here on the right part lower highs as well. We have the breakout signaling new lower lows. Very, very important signal. However, I would caution you and not jump on the first breakout, because what you will often see is that breakout traders will go short here. Conventional price action has taught those traders to put their stop loss here. And then you will often see those stop runs. Very strong pushes into the area where traders have their stops. They get liquidated, and that is then why a lot of traders are struggling with breakout trades. So instead of taking the initial breakout, you wait for the stop run. You want to see a little bit more momentum into the downtrend. So if you now see 2 or 3 bearish candles come into the market and you're really seeing that this is here turning, this is then your short signal. So in this case, you can see after the top, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 short candles, and then the trend is really accelerating to the downside. So be careful with the first breakout. It's often luring in traders. Then the stop run is taking place, and then after the stop run, when you see the first signs of reversing momentum, that's then your better clue. Point number 6 is the fake out. You can call it liquidity run, whatever you want to call it, but the fake out has been around for decades. We are in an uptrend. In the uptrend, you see a breakout attempt here. So up until this point, this was the highest high in this uptrend. The market tried to break out, but we are seeing very, very strong bearishness coming into the market. And then you see the market push into a new low. So here we have a lot of confluence, a lot of things pointing towards a market that is slowing down. And then on the way down, you typically want to structure your trades by looking for important levels or zones on the left. So assuming this is our short entry, here could be our first target. Maybe you could even put it a little bit higher just to avoid the risk of the market turning in this demand zone. So the first target could have also been here. And then the second target could be at this second demand zone here down below. And as you can see, very, very nice trade unfolding. You could trail your stop loss along the way below the lower highs as well, just to lock in some profits and to just not risk giving back unrealized profits. Let's take a look at a multi-time frame trading approach. We are starting on a daily time frame. we note that the overall trend is down, very clear bearish downtrend. We're coming here from this impulsive trading wave to then here a correction. This is a pullback, corrective wave, however you want to call it. We see that the price has closed this fair value gap, and now the reaction to how the price is behaving at this fair value gap is going to be very important. If the market is able to just brush through this gap and just trade higher, we don't want to participate on the short side. We are looking for a higher time frame continuation, so we are looking for shorts. So we carefully observe how the price is reacting to this zone. For that, we go to a lower time frame. For example, here the 1 hour time frame. This is the fair value gap from the higher time frame. We see a lower time frame fake out, so the market tried to break out, gives us the fake out. If you have an RSI, a MACD or a stochastic, this will also give you here a divergence. The market is selling off really, really strongly, and now it's just a matter of where do we find the optimal entry. In this case, there were not really a lot of great entries because there's a lot of volatility here coming from this higher time frame zone. But eventually we find that once the market has made its way through this gap here, the market is giving us a clean breakout through some very important support levels. Very simply, you could target here the first swing low, but remember, we are going with the higher time frame, so we are going with the long-term trend, and that means often you will be able to stretch your target even further. The market hit the first target easily. We saw a little bit of volatility here, increase at this level, but eventually and ultimately the price would have kept going down. The takeaway here is that you don't rush the entry. If you don't find a good entry pattern at the top of this pullback phase, then you're much better off waiting for the right circumstances instead of forcing a trade during this high volatility phase. You will just risk getting whacked around and your stop loss being taken out. Here we have a demand bounce. So what we see is that the market shot up really, really strongly. It left this demand zone here. The market kept turning or trading back into the level. We see that the market arrived here at the demand zone. If you're trading demand zones with pending orders, you would already be in this trade. I made the last video on this actually. So if you're using pending orders, you would already be in the trade. Your stop loss is typically somewhere below the zone. Assuming you will get taken out, you want to look for re-entries if there is a re-entry opportunity. Sometimes the market will just break through those zones and you don't get a second chance. But in this case, what we see is that the market is building something like an inverse head and shoulder here. As the market arrived at the demand zone, we have the left shoulder, the head, and here kind of the right shoulder. We see the break of structure. So at that point here, the market cleared the previous swing highs, and that could be here our entry signal. We are still fairly close to entering here at the demand zone. We have a lot of more context now with the inverse head and shoulder than we would have had here by getting in just with a pending order. We could target the first fair value gap. You have another, well, not great, but okay-ish supply and demand area, or you could also go for here the highest point. Obviously, the further away your target is, the lower the chances that the price will reach it. So you also want to check your higher time frame. Are you going with the higher time frame? Then, as we have seen before, you might be okay with extending your target. In this case, we had a very straightforward price movement. Probably there was some news here that drove up the price. In the end, it doesn't matter. We are playing the odds and the long game. So occasionally you will get this in your favor. Sometimes you will get it against you. But long term, this should equal each other out. Next, we're looking at a fair value gap pullback. We are in an uptrend, right? We're coming here from the bottom left. We put it in a swing high. We make a swing low. The market eventually returns to making long impulsive waves into the trend direction. So this is another way how this price action confirmed the ongoing uptrend. We break above the previous high. We close this fair value gap here. And then we're looking for confirmation that the market has picked up and is ready to resume in the original bullish wave. And as you can see, every time the market picks up, we get strong bullish candles. We don't have them here. You could draw your resistance here and wait for it to get broken, just like in this case, where you draw your level here at this previous swing highs. You wait for the market to give you confirmation that there is bullishness coming into the market. At that point, you could also go to a lower time frame to get into the trade a little bit earlier. Stop loss below the breakout candle. We are catching new impulsive momentum. So like here and here, the market typically accelerated it out of those consolidation phases, just like it did here. And the market then went off and continued here the uptrend. This is one of my favorite patterns. It's the triple tap. And this is a multi-candle or a multi-high divergence pattern. We're coming from an uptrend, and then as we keep making higher highs, each subsequent higher high is weaker than the one before. From here to here, we have very strong high, from here to here as well. But then when you look here at those recent highs, the distance between the highs is becoming smaller and smaller. This shows us that the market is losing a lot of momentum and the breakouts into new highs is not as strong. What we do is we are looking for the last swing points. So here, for example, we have the latest swing point. We see that a lot of bearishness is coming into the market. Just look at this candle and we look left. We cannot find any single candle that is as strong as this one, signaling extreme bearishness. And with the context here of the triple tap and the divergences, this is a great finding. And if we keep looking further, you can see the market continued lower. We had a little bit of a sideways consolidation, dirty retest. Remember, that's the pattern we analyzed in the beginning. We have here highs, the market breaks the highs, fails to stay above the highs. We see an engulfing candle here, giving us another entry opportunity, and then the trend is continued. And because I like the triple tap so much, I want to include another example here. Again, coming from an uptrend, the highs are becoming smaller and smaller. So from here to here, strong. From here to here, still strong. But from here to here, this is the divergence that we are looking for. We want to zoom out, and the more confluence we can get, the better typically such an example is. So here, the latest divergence happens right at the previous resistance area. So we have a long-term fake out as well, false breakout. No matter how you call it, you see that the market tried to break above it and then gets rejected. We see that the market is breaking into a new low, breaking the structure, making its first lower low, signaling a good opportunity. And again, we have the dirty retest here. Then the market takes off after. This is something that you will see time and again. First breakouts, they can work, sometimes they do. But if you're aware that dirty retests or deep retests, no matter what you want to call them, when you see them take place and you see the acceleration away from those deeper retests, those can be great secondary entry signals.